We move forward because we make initial steps. Ang ating mga panahong ginugol upang malinang ang ating kaalaman ay hindi kailanman nawawalan ng kabuluhan. Bilang tugon sa ating kasalukuyang tema, kalidad ng edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya, tayo'y magbalik tanaw sa ating mga ginawang hakbang. This will be followed by the singing of the national anthem, our moving up prayer, and an opening remarks to be given by Ma'am Wilma Lagasca, our kindergarten head.
Looking ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Panginoon, aming makapangyarihan at mapagmahal na Ama, ang aming mga puso ay puspos ng galak sa araw na ito na ipinagkaloob mo sa amin. Lahat po ng mga bagay na inyong ibinibigay sa amin ay patunay ng inyong walang hanggang pagmamahal. Salamat po sa isa na namang taong magtatapos. Ganun din sa lahat ng mga kaalamang aming natutunan. Salamat po sa aming mga magulang, sa kanilang walang sawang pagsasakripisyo at pagmamahal sa amin. Salamat po sa aming mga guro, punong guro at iba pang pinuno ng paaralan, sa kanilang walang kapagurang pagtuturo sa amin ng iba't ibang kaalaman at kagandahang asal. Salamat po sa aming mga kamag-aral at kaibigan, sa kanilang pagbibigay buhay sa aming paglalakbay. Salamat po sa aming mahal na paaralan, sa kanyang pag-aaruga at pagbibigay ng pangalawang tahanan marami po kaming pinagdaanan. Sa loob ng ilang taon, iba't ibang uri ng problema ang aming naranasan. Naniniwala po kami, Ama, na sa aming paglalakbay sa buhay, may mga pagsubok kaming kailangang lampasan. Bagamat minsan ay gusto naming magtago, alam naming hindi ito maaaring takasan. Sapagkat sa iyong karunungan, ang mga bagyo, pasakit at mga paghihirap na ito ang siyang magiging daan upang kami ay mas maging matatag at mabuting nilalang. Salamat po sa pag-antabay sa amin. Taos puso po kaming humihingi ng tawad sa lahat ng aming kasalanan. Ang mga ito po ay bunga ng aming karupukan. Tulungan ninyo po kaming hanapin ang kapayapaan at yakapin ang kabutihan. Sa araw pong ito ng aming pagtatapos, lubos po kaming nagpapasalamat sa inyo. Buksan ninyo po ang aming mga mata upang makita ang kagandahan sa aming paligid. Buksan niyo po ang aming mga tenga sa pakikinig sa lahat ng mga mensahe ibibigay sa pagtitipon ito. Naniniwala po kami na ito ay galing sa inyo. Buksan niyo rin po ang aming mga isipan upang piliin naming matutunan ang mga bagay na naaayon sa inyong kagustuhan. Higit sa lahat, buksan niyo po ang aming mga puso para mas lalo naming mahalin ang mga bagay na ipinagkakaloob niyo sa amin, katulad ng aming pag-aaral. Sa amin po mga gagawing desisyon sa hinaharap, patuloy niyo po kaming gabayan. Naway gawin mo kaming mga instrumento upang ang inyong pag-ibig ay patuloy na mananatili sa lahat ng panahon ng aming buhay. Lahat pong ito ay aming ipinapanalangin sa ngalan ng iyong anak na si Jesus. Amen.
Aming masipag at laging nakasubaybay na tagapamasid pampurok sa distrito ng Aurora, Ginoong Darwin de Jesus Mangunay, sa aming mapagmahal at laging nakaantabay na punong guro ng Paralang Sentral ng Aurora, Ginoong Danilo Nacionales Elarde, mga masisipag at matitiyagang guro ng aming paaralan sa pamumuno ni Ginoong Regalado Bernardo de la Cruz, mga magulang, kaibigan, at higit sa lahat, sa ating mga mumunting bayaning magtatapos sa araw na ito, na silang dahilan kung bakit tayo ay naririto at nagtitipon sa araw na ito. Isang napakagandang hapon sa ating lahat.
Noong una, maraming katanungan ang nabuo. Paano matututo ang mga bata? Paano sila makikinig sa mga aralin? Saan sila kukuha ng mga lessons? At marami pang iba. Sa kabila ng mga pangungulit ng mga batang paslit na ito, na sana'y makapiling nila ang kanilang guro at mas gugustuhin pa rin talaga nila mag-aral sa loob ng kanilang mga silid-aralan, kung saan makikita nila ang mga pisara, mga maliliit na mesa, mga upuan, aklat, at higit sa lahat ang kanilang sanang mga kamag-aral bilang karagdagan sa listahan ng kanilang mga kaibigan, mga kamag-aral na kaagapay sana nila sa pagkatuto, mga kamag-aral na nakakadagdag sa kanilang motibasyon para sila ay mas maiging makapag-aral. Sa mga magulang na sa ayaw nila at sa gusto, damay sila sa sitwasyon na mapabuti ang pag-intindi ng mga bata sa kanilang mga aralin. Mga magulang na pilit kinakayang pagsabayin ang mga gawaing bahay at paghahanap buhay mabigyan lamang ng oras ang mga batang ito na uhaw sa kaalaman. Dahil dito, isang pagsaludo sa inyong mga mahal naming mga magulang para sa oras at tiyaga ninyong ibinahagi sa inyong mga anak at kasama na rito ang inyong pagsuporta sa programa ng Department of Education. Sa halos minsan ay wala ng tulugan para lamang maiayos ang mga kagamitang ibibigay sa mga bata. Hindi namin kinakasawaan bilang guro ang gawaing ito dahil alam namin sa aming mga kamay ang isa sa mga tulay kung paano makakatawid ang mga batang ito tungo sa kanilang pagkatuto. At dahil ang mga batang ito ay nakatawid, nararapat lamang na maranasan nila ang unang virtual moving up na kahit si COVID-19 ay hindi makakahadlang. Sa araw na ito, tanggapin ninyo ang inyong mga certificate na nagpapatunay na napagtagumpayan ninyo ang isang taong pakikibaka sa gitna ng pandemya. Isang matagumpay na pakikipaglaban sa pandemya upang kayo ay makatawid patungo sa inyong unang baitang. Saludo kami sa inyo mga batang paslit na kahit makulit, saya ang inyong ibinibigay na kapalit. Congratulations mga completers, 10 ng inyong mga matitiyagang magulang. Muli, isang matagumpay na pagtatapos sa ating mga bidang bata. At mapagpalang umaga sa ating lahat. Tara na at sama-sama nating tunghayan ang kauna-unahang virtual moving up ng ating kindergarten para sa taong 2020-2021.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Wilma, sa iyong napapanahong mensahe. Patuloy po nating pag-alabin at palakasin ang isa't isa sa pamamagitan ng mga mensahe na mula sa ating butihing ama ng bayan ng Aurora, Mayor Joseph Christian G. Wee, Public Schools District Supervisor Dr. Darwin J. Mangunay, at ang ating ginagalang na Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Madeline L. Macaling.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat sa buong pamunuan ng Aurora Central School sa pamumuno ni Sir Danilo Elarde, Principal, at sa lahat po ng guro ng Aurora Central School, sa lahat ng mga magulang ng mga estudyante na nag-graduate ngayon, at syempre sa lahat ng mga estudyante na nag-graduate ngayon, mga grade 6 students na pupunta na ng grade 7, mga kinder students na pupunta na ng grade 1, isang magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Unang-una, congratulations sa lahat ng graduate ngayon. Moving up day, isang malaking accomplishment po ito, hindi lang po sa inyong mga estudyante, lalong-lalo na po sa inyong mga magulang. Dahil alam naman po natin yung mga sakripisyo ng inyong mga magulang para kayo ay makapag-aral. Sa mga kinder students, pupunta ng grade 1, enjoy the journey. Dahil yung pagiging grade 1, yung elementary years ninyo, yan yung mga basic foundation na dapat ninyong matutunan para maging equipped kayo para pagka pupunta kayo sa next level. Ngayon sa mga grade 6 students naman na magiging grade 7 na ngayon, ito na yung oras na medyo magseseryoso tayo dahil yung mga matututunan natin sa grade 7 pataas, yan na po yung mga magagamit natin talaga sa totoong buhay para alam nyo rin kung ano talaga yung magiging career nyo in the future. At paalala ko lang din, ano lang, kasi advocacy ko talaga, pinupush ko yung sektor ng agrikultura dito sa ating bayan. Kaya yung mga students na syempre ngayon may kanya-kanya kayong pangarap, may gusto kayong maging may mga gusto kayong mga career path in the future, pero yung mga ano pa, iniisip pa lang ano kaya yung magiging future ko, pwede nyo i-consider yung hanay ng agricultural courses in the future. Pagka ano na, magko-collegium na kayo. Tinutulungan ko lang kayo dun sa mga hindi decided. Kasi ang lakas ng ating lugar ay yung agrikultura. Isa tayo sa pinakamaliliit na bayan sa Isabela, pero number 1 po tayo pagdating sa kalamansi. Number 1 po tayo pagdating sa tobacco. Marami po tayong palay, mais, at gulay, at kung ano-ano pang tanim. Productive po yung mga lupa natin dito sa bayan ng Aurora. Kaya, pwede nyo i-consider in the way future yung sektor ng agrikultura. Hindi ko na po patatagalin. Muli, congratulations sa lahat ng mga estudyante na nag-graduate ngayon, sa lahat ng mga magulang, congratulations sa inyo. At syempre, sa mga guro, sa inyong pagtsatsaga at pagpapasensya sa mga estudyante, isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Congratulations po ulit. Good luck to all. God bless you all. Mabuhay po kayong lahat.
To our school's Division Superintendent, Dr. Madeline L. Macaling, Assistant Schools Division Superintendents, Dr. Dante J. Marcelo, and Dr. Edna Piaguan, supportive local officials, headed by our Municipal Mayor, Honorable Joseph Christian G.V., barangay officials, General PTA officers, sa mga guro at mga namumuno sa mga paaralan sa buong distrito ng Aurora, sa mga minamahal naming mga magulang, sa mga completers at magsisipagtapos sa taong panuruang 2021, ang aking maalab na pagbati. Naging masalimuot man ang taong ito para sa ating lahat, ito pa rin ay ating napagtagumpayan. Ang pandemyang ito ay hindi naging hadlang upang mairaos ng mahusay ang pagkatuto ng ating mga anak. Maituturing na ito ay tagumpay sa kabila ng mga pagsubok na dumating sa ating buhay. Malaki ang naging ambag ninyo, mga mahal naming mga magulang, sa araw-araw na pag-aaral ng inyong mga anak. Kayo ang nagsilbing kanilang mga guro. Kayo po ang tunay na humubog at gumabay sa kanila sa pagsagot at pagkalima sa mga gawaing pampaaralan. Ako ay saludo sa hindi matatawarang suporta na inyong ibinigay sa inyong mga anak. Napakahusay ng inyong pakikibahagi sa paaralan. Kaya taos-puso ang aking pasasalamat sa inyong lahat. Sa mga guro, ang aking pagbati. Isinuong ninyo ang inyong kaligtasan. Hindi inalintana ang panganib na dulot ng pandemya. Kitang-kita ang inyong sakripisyo, ang inyong dedikasyong maihatid at maitawid ang karunungan at kaalamang nauukol sa mga bata. Dama ang pagmamahal at pagmamalasakit upang matiyak ang pagpapatuloy ng dekalidad at matatag na edukasyon sa gitna ng pandemya. Sa mga namumuno sa paaralan, Hindi rin masusukat ang inyong ginawang pagtupad sa inyong mga tungkuling ipinakita ninyo ng buong husay ang napakagandang liderato upang magabayan ang mga guro sa inyong nasasakupan. Naging halimbawa kayo upang mahikayat at maganyak ng wasto ang mga kaguruan sa paghubog sa mga mag-aaral. Naging kaagapay kayo upang matiyak na walang batang maiiwan. At higit sa lahat, kayong mga magsisipagtapos at completers sa taong ito, muli ang aking pagbati. Naipakita ninyo ang inyong husay. Nagtagumpay kayo sa unang yugto ng inyong pag-aaral. Kahit may pandemya, nakaya ninyo. Ang ganda ng inyong simula. Tapusin ninyo ito. Huwag susuko. Huwag padadaig sa coronavirus. Labanan natin ang kasalukuyang sitwasyon. Tibayan ang loob. Tiyakin ang inyong tagumpay sa bawat hamong darating sa inyong buhay. Maraming salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
To our distinguished guests, to our beloved LGU officials, to our dedicated principal together with the committed faculty and staff, to our committed district supervisor, visitors, friends, ladies and gentlemen, and to all the graduates, awardees, completers, achievers, parents, good day. Amid pandemic, we ensured na walang may iwan, and we did. This school year, we collectively ventured into what many doubted as a worthy undertaking of the Department of Education. For most of you, the continuation of classes was a Herculean task to begin with. As for the very first time in recent history, we needed to shift from the customary face-to-face mode of learning to distance learning modality. Words can never describe how elated I am as I extend my sincerest congratulations to you, dear graduates, completers, awardees, parents, guardians, and all our external stakeholders. This school year has been such an inconceivable test. And I am entirely appreciative of each and everyone who have made this arduous journey possible. Undeniably, you have waded through insurmountable odds. The seemingly impossible opening of classes, the difficult implementation of distance learning modalities, the inaccessibility of some learners and communities, and the invaluable hardship of all our educators, parents, and other stakeholders as we face our unseen enemy. This global health crisis certainly prompted you to make big adjustments with how you deal with your personal lives and studies. Yet, at the end of the day, you knew that you would always have a strong support system in DepEd to keep you grounded throughout your quest for quality basic education. And look where that belief has taken you today. we in the Schools Division Office of Isabela, along with your teachers, invested much of our time and resources to institute strategic plans in addressing different learning gaps and in delivering the best possible alternatives to strengthen the quality of our basic education. No matter how colossal the challenge this school year has brought to us all, we never chose to give up. And together, we conquered the battle. And there you are testaments to this immense success of the Department of Education. Indeed, I salute you, dear learners, completers, achievers, awardees, with your proud parents for your persistence and love of learning. Even with the absence of face-to-face classes, you were still able to prove how flexible you are in your quest for knowledge and wisdom. The Schools Division of Isabela has always championed quality and equitable education for the youth, and this school year, we never lost heart that we shall all remain triumphant in the end. Thus, may this victory remind you of how well you struggled for your future as you opted to embrace the new normal in education. I can therefore say that our theme for the end of the school year writes, strengthening the quality of education amid the COVID-19 pandemic, is truly fitting as you continue to soar high in equipping yourselves with the necessary life skills and knowledge. This global health crisis has certainly taught us to intensify our campaign for accessible, inclusive, and quality education without sacrificing the health and safety of each and everyone. You may not have been physically present in the four corners of the classroom, but your determination to learn gave us hope that in SDO Isabela, walang batang maiiwan. This hope, in turn, gave birth to strength to remain one with you in this tremendous academic journey. As you venture ahead, I want you to always look back to where you come from, your school, your teachers who took your hand and clothed you with the knowledge and skills you need, as well as your parents who have been with you since day one of your journey. Sow positivity from within yourselves and to others, and never shed the faith that this pandemic shall soon pass. As you march forward, never lose focus and be more tenacious in fulfilling your educational goals. I urge you to stop at nothing and just keep going. Do not let this health crisis stop you from quenching your thirst for wisdom. Your journey towards excellence has just begun, and you still have a long and tedious voyage ahead of you. Ultimately, may you take the right attitude and realize that SDO Isabela is with you and continues to believe in your capabilities. We may have been bombarded with innumerable challenges as we wrestle with the COVID-19 pandemic, but what matters is that we did not give up too soon. We rather fought valiantly through it all. We take pride in these enormous achievements of yours, dear graduates, completers, achievers, awardees. Keep believing that there are more successes to come. As a poem aptly puts it, we are the masters of our fate and the captains of our song. Pandemic or otherwise, you are your own master and captain. Journey well in your pursuit of academic excellence. And we will always be with you throughout your journey because we remain and will always remain true to our commitment that in SDO Isabela, walang batang maiiwan. Congratulations to all of you.
Sa kabila ng ating nararanasan, mapalad pa rin tayong biniyayaan ng pagkakataong masilayan ang isa sa pinakamahalagang bahagi ng buhay ng ating mga anak. To formally present to you the completers of this precious event, we have Ma'am Cheribel A. Sales to do the honor towards Mr. Danilo N. Ilarde, the school principal, for his further acceptance and confirmation.
To the principal of Aurora Central School, Sir Danilo N. Ilarde. As a teacher of kindergarten of this school, I have the honor to present to you the 123 kindergarten completers for this school year 2020-2021, 61 of whom are males, 62 are females. These completers have satisfactorily completed the requirements prescribed by the Department of Education under the kindergarten curriculum. Sir, they are now ready for your acceptance and confirmation.
By the power vested on me as the principal of Aurora Central School, and after having been certified by the teachers of kindergarten that you have satisfactorily completed the requirements prescribed by the Department of Education, I am now accept and confirm you completers for this school year 2020-2021. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the kindergarten completers of the school year 2020-2021.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to present to you the kindergarten Jupiter completers for the school year 2020-2021. For the morning session, Abalos Jason Jr. Galasinao, son of Mr. and Mrs. Jason P. Abalos Sr. Agbayani Jasper Pias, son of Mr. and Mrs. Pastor M. Agbayani Sr. Alina Jundi Corpus, son of Mr. and Mrs. Jeremy S. Alina. Araneta Eli Bon Dwayne Austria, son of Mr. and Mrs. Edwin B. Araneta. Cabudol J.R. Franco, son of Mr. and Mrs. Feliciano C. Cabudol. Cruz Francis Drake Organza, son of Mr. and Mrs. Francis M. Cruz. Doma Rainiel Dane Alimba, son of Mr. Israel R. Doma. Pajardo Joshua Michael Hines, son of Mr. and Mrs. Joey B. Pajardo. Flores Yok Zach Lexier Manalaysay, son of Mr. and Mrs. Resty T. Flores. Gabriel Tristan R.D. Alibuyog, son of Mr. and Mrs. Deogracio F. Gabriel. Galdones Richard Jr. Diaz, son of Mr. and Mrs. Richard M. Galdones Sr. Garillo Ricardo Jose Gomez, son of Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo Garillo. Penaira Enderlands Ulanday, son of Miss Wiljoy P. Ulanday. Saring J.R. Ignacio, son of Mr. and Mrs. Domingo P. Sari. Urma Enzo Harden Gabriel, son of Mr. and Mrs. Jim Angelo G. Urma. Abalos Sicaina Sanchez, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Edsel G. Abalos. Anggaran Alexa May Peralta, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan D. Anggaran. Bulawit Princess Angel Tabor, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Benedict E. Bulawit. De Gracia Daylin Joy Ferrer, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Dennis R. De Gracia. De la Cruz Kiana Maris Romin, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Aris V. De la Cruz. Esmino Abriel Cheniel Relosa, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. R.J. R. Esmino. Esteban Natalia Licia Nuaria, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Mexicel D. Esteban. Guillermo Ernst May Valle, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Eric D. Guillermo. Laja Maria Lunita Mostrales, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Reggie S. Laja. Molina Scarlett Chin Pachos, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Armando P. Molina. Nagal Dimple Garcia, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Simplicio T. Nagal Jr. Pajarillo Yasi Drew Roque, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Dexter P. Pajarillo. Pascua Mary Charles Marzan, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Kimar P. Pascua. Perdido Crisanta Rarama, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Arnold E. Perdido. Tamaray Arlana Carolilianes, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jeremy Earl P. Tamaray. Valdez May Joyce Mandapat, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Eduardo A. Valdez Jr. For the afternoon session, Alhambra Andre Bon Martinez, son of Mr. and Mrs. Jokno D. Alhambra. Alabo Alden Barniso, son of Mr. and Mrs. Rutilio P. Alabo. Abino Jeremy Talub, son of Mr. and Mrs. Petercio C. Abino II. Kalamayan Mark Angelo Anog, son of Mr. and Mrs. Reynold S. Kalamayan. Corrales J.C. Paraiso, son of Mr. and Mrs. Jamar S. Corrales. De la Cruz Bryce Jacob Guzman, son of Mr. and Mrs. Noel B. De la Cruz. Flores Zander Damisel, son of Mr. and Mrs. Aris R. Flores. Garcia Gregorio Jr. Basa, son of Mr. and Mrs. Gregorio C. Garcia Sr. Lopez Paul Erson De Jesus, son of Mr. and Mrs. Orson J. Lopez Jr. Lucañas Denver Chan Tolentino, son of Mr. and Mrs. Johnny G. Lucañas. Nuesa Chan Paul Carriaga, son of Mr. and Mrs. Alexander S. Nuesa. Pineda Ivan Cheryl Sadiwa, son of Mr. and Mrs. Ives M. Pineda. Salazar Angelo Simon, son of Mr. and Mrs. John F. Salazar. Sinadjan Christian Ilarde, son of Mr. and Mrs. Jessie V. Sinadjan. Tan Paul Simon Yap, son of Mr. and Mrs. Peter G. Tan. Villanueva Chris Pinkihan, son of Mr. and Mrs. Bertie Villanueva. Binoya Jeffter Santos, son of Mr. and Mrs. Rodel C. Binoya. Agkawili Angela, daughter of Miss Lorna C. Agkawili. Benaventura Altea David, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Alvin R. Benaventura. Casiano Savin Andrea Urbano, daughter of Sangguniang Bayan and Mrs. Leo Marcy Casiano. De Guzman Chanel Canelas, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. J.R. A. De Guzman. Lazarte Hersin Shamsi Ramirez, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Mark Anthony B. Lazarte. Lumandas Colleen Annie Klein Januaria, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. John G. Lumandas. Mangilin Lisel Martin, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Charlie E. Mangilin. Rumbawa Marichuls II Guzman, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Marichuls A. Rumbawa. Servania Princess Queenie Fernandez, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jaime C. Servania. Suniga Apple Ashley Mariano, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Mark A. Suniga. Tubon Sofia Angela Perez, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jomar T. Tubon. Ulant Frances Elaine Umipig, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Joseph M. Ulant. Vergara Rain Rizal Sanchez, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Roderick A. Vergara.
Kindergarten Venus Morning Session. Alvarez John Mark M., son of Mr. and Mrs. Marlon J. Alvarez. Atis Leochin A., son of Mr. and Mrs. Leonardo D. Atis. Concepcion Cyrus C., son of Mr. and Mrs. Mark Pilicho S. Concepcion. Dingrat J.M.B., son of Mr. and Mrs. Joey L. Dingrat. Juliano John Matthew M., son of Mr. and Mrs. Francis Ian M. Juliano.
Mauricio Lorgius N., he was the son of Mr. and Mrs. Loreto C. Mauricio. Mora Benjamin Jr. P., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin A. Mora Sr.
Paden Vincent S., son of Mr. and Mrs. Jonaldo P. Paden. Pagirigan Stanford M., son of Mr. and Mrs. Edson L. Pagirigan. Peralta Ronald Jr. M., son of Mr. and Mrs. Ronald R. Peralta. Phil Jonathan Jr. A., son of Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan P. Phil Sr. Ralutin Gabriel Jose G., son of Mr. and Mrs. Oscar B. Ralutin. Sadiwa Daniel John L., son of Mr. and Mrs. Dante G. Sadiwa. Salarzon Daryl T., son of Mr. and Mrs. Bal R. Salarzon. Sarces J.M.S., son of Mr. and Mrs. John Mark Sarces. Chevalier John David B., son of Mr. and Mrs. Romulus C. Valle Jr., Bea Clean Yazem A., son of Mr. and Mrs. Leonard C. Bea. Andasan Shania Isle D., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jason A. Andasan. Berderlipe Rachel S., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ronald V. Berderlipe. Cabuenos Scarlett, daughter of Mrs. Jeneline M. Cabuenos. Carian Destiny Ann A., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. J. Dexter A. Carian Sr. Dalino Eva Francesca Queen B., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Gregorio G. Dalino Jr. Estrellas Shelley Joy R., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Mary Anthony P. Estrellas. Estrellas Mika Jane P., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jeffrey G. Estrellas. Irang Grisha Camille S., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Narciso M. Irang Jr. Maltu Rhea J., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Bonifacio D. Maltu. Nicolas Beatrix Arcel G., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Julius Armando B. Nicolas. Bill Hazel A., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan P. Peel Sr. Reyes Sophia Emmanuel P., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Norvin S. Reyes. Soriano Audrey R., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Minandro P. Soriano. Yuson Lexi Joy, daughter of Mrs. Maureen Joy and Yuson. Saldariaga J.D. V., daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Freddie P. Saldariaga.
And here are the names of kindergarten Venus pupils who are promoted to the next level for the afternoon session. Villones Roger M., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Wilfredo Villones. Calamayan John Lloyd C., he is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Juanito R. Calamayan Jr. De Vera Jerome A., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Efrain L. De Vera Jr. De Los Santos Remuel James B., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Romel Q. De Los Santos. Escano Liam Andrew C., he is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Tan Michael D. Escano. Estrellas Prince John N., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Mary John P. Estrellas. Gadayos John Paul C., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Romy L. Gadayos. Ronquillo Jonard C., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Jordan B. Ronquillo. Sagar Joaquin C., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Mario V. Sagar Jr. Santiago Cramnil Jenic E. He is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Mark Dominic A. Santiago. Sebastian Romel C. the son of Mr. and Mrs. Robert R. Sebastian. Bersosa Jamir F. the son of Mr. and Mrs. Nelson G. Bersosa. Alarzar Clarissa K. E. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Raki N. Alarzar. Apaw April May G. the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Raymark B. Apaw. Apaw Janine D. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jimmy L. Apaw. Arganyosa Mia Angela O. She was the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Marijo D. Arganyosa. Kurameng Angelica N. the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Angelito C. Kurameng. Diaz Thea Marjorie A. the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Romer R. Diaz. Hernandez Rhea Lee A. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jeffrey C. Hernandez. Gamilia Princess Beatriz V. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Noel G. Gamilia. Garay Jamie T. the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Elizalde C. Garay Jr. Guillermo Precious Lenci, the daughter of Mrs. Manilyn A. Guillermo. Lucero Juliana Paula A. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jomar C. Lucero. Martinez Nikki Angelic P. the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jardine M. Martinez. Mata Maria Isabel G. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jason P. Mata. Mauricio Antoinette Grace. She is the daughter of Mrs. Norley F. Mauricio. Occidental Cassandra Kate, the daughter of Mrs. Merla E. Occidental. Reyno Kylie Cassandra B. the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Bernabe T. Reyno. Senadjan Gurley C. the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Gerald B. Senadjan. Last but not the least, Tumaliwan Athena Simonette P. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Sunny Boy G. Tumaliwan. Once again, I would like to extend my congratulations to the dear parents and of course to the completers for a job well done. Minsan pa, isang maalab na pagbati sa lahat ng ating kindergarten completers at kanilang mga magulang. As we proceed, may we listen to the end of school year rights message coming from our Regional Director, none other than our well-respected Dr. Benjamin D. Paragas, to be followed by a message of our beloved DepEd Secretary, Ma'am Leonor M. Briones.
My cordial greetings to all. During these tough times, As we operate within imperfect circumstances, we see the unfolding of one of the most beautiful things ever made on earth, the success of our young people in their academic journey as they inch day by day towards their dreams. To our dear learners, without a doubt, during these trying times, the struggles have been real and the challenges almost insurmountable. Today, we witness sense of purpose, direction, and meaning winning over every sign of difficulty that came your way as you toiled ceaselessly in the vineyard of education. Our theme this year, strengthening the quality of education amid the COVID-19 pandemic, in a huge way recognizes our strength as people who cannot be floored by even the strongest of challenges. In fact, we have proven that together, working for a common vision, we are an armada of strong-willed individuals who cannot be swayed and discouraged by tribulations. Thanks for the deep sense of motivation that makes half the job accomplished. We have also shown that innovative minds always rule the day, and that makes us prepared to confront each challenge that will beset us. The years do not promise an easy journey, and with the threat of the pandemic still lurking around, the going will get tough, and the tough must keep going. And the spirit cannot be broken and will surely prevail. It is an irrefragable fact that despite our cling to varied ways of life, we have shown how united we can be in advancing the common agenda in education. We have done our share in realizing our ultimate goal of producing holistically developed K-12 basic education curriculum graduates who are not only knowledgeable and competent, but also value-laden and discerning. We are diverse in culture, and so we may have varied performances in all that we do, but we share a common goal: to be the best version of ourselves so we can be of help to others in the best way we can. Our sense of shared destiny has allowed us to bend without breaking, to attune our actions and efforts to the agenda of national leadership, but it too proved that we can do so without diminishing our long-held principles, that indeed it takes a village to raise a child. Each one of us, no matter how diverse, is a strand in the colorful fabric of human civilization. This is the value that we want you, our dear graduates, to embrace and be proud of. Our sense of identity, either on a regional or national landscape, must remain an important consideration in achieving our goals, and compromising it to favor new thoughts and ways of thinking must never be an option. We must continue to prove the world that even in the face of a dreaded pandemic, quality education can have its way through. The Department of Education Region 2 has unambiguously laid down in its Regional Education Development Plan all its projects, programs, and activities that shall inspire service above self and only about the future of learners who shall eventually assume significant roles in nation building. May you continue to be a proof that the kind of education our country is one for the world to share. Congratulations, dear parents, dear teachers, and to all of you learners. Mabuhay kayong lahat!
Grateful enough of today's celebration, may we listen to our very diligent and very supportive school principal, Sir Danilo N. Ilarde, for his closing remarks.
Great day to all of us. Moments are filled with happiness as we reap the fruits of our labors. Being grateful makes our sense of fulfillment. Indeed, with all the situations and conditions that we are facing. School year 2020-2021 has indeed become a very challenging year to all of us. As mentors and facilitators, we have gone through tremendous shakings and adjustments from one point to another and from one level to another. It is difficult, but thankfully we made it. Gratitudes of all different kinds fill my heart, and a word of thanks keeps on coming out of my lips. As the new father of Aurora Central School, I have been so blessed with all the efforts here, and yours truly have experienced and felt the unconditional love which may not be measured by just our naked eyes and senses. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the teachers of Aurora Central School for your efforts to push through the new normal setup of education. I salute you all for your perseverance. Despite what we have been through, your sacrifices are unwavering. I cannot just imagine how huge your hearts are in instilling the torch of education and move forward the hurdles of the new normal. You have gone through unexplainable ups and downs. Learn you to sustain teaching and learning. Continue beyond limits. Thank you so much, for I was deeply moved by your action. To the parents who have been active and have partaken in educating their children, I thank you. Your sacrifices are not in vain. The social connection that links you and your children intensified. Your time devoted to passionately ignite learning among these young boys and girls who are regarded as the hope of the nation is priceless. I adore each parent who has taken initial steps in their children's learning. It is tough, but not worthless. It is difficult, but glorifying. It is time-consuming, but rewarding. Hats off for pushing through, and as of the moment, I would like to tell you that you are indeed adorable, and your moves, no matter how small, are remarkable. Thank you, my dear and fellow parents. At this juncture, I would like also to express our sincerest gratitude to the very active and supportive Municipal Mayor, Honorable Joseph Christian G. Wee, for the provision of materials needed for the reproduction of modules and other learning materials of all pupils in the district. Maraming salamat po, Mayor. Salamat din po sa mga department heads, and of course, by our Municipal Administrator, Madam Edna Ramirez. Maraming salamat sa mabilis na pagtugon at pagproseso sa mga pangangailangan ng ating mga bata at ang ating paaralan. Sa inyong lahat, maraming salamat po. I would like also to thank our guest speaker, the principal of Our Lady of the Pilar, San Manuel Campus, Madam Marijo Pimentel, for sharing her precious time and Solomonic wisdom and serve as an inspiration to our graduates. Thank you, Madam. Sa mga stakeholders at barangay officials ng mga barangay na nasa sakupan ng Aurora Central School, maraming salamat po sa patuloy na pagbibigay tulong ninyo sa ating mga mag-aaral at ang ating paaralan. Salamat po sa inyong lahat. Sa mga department officials na laging gumagabay at sumusuporta po sa amin, maraming salamat po. In closing, I would like to say congratulations to the parents and happy graduation batch 2021. Stay safe at mabuhay po tayong lahat. Maraming salamat po.